Hello grade 9 students! Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Angelito Panuncio. In this video, you will learn how to solve quadratic equation by completing the square. In this lesson, it is very important that you are familiar in the word perfect square trinomials and square of a binomial. So during your grade 8, you have learned how to factor perfect square trinomials, and the result is square of a binomial. Reversing the process, when we square the binomial, the result is perfect square trinomial. So let's consider this given example. Example number 1. Let's say we have x squared plus 14x plus 49. So the technique in factoring perfect square trinomial is square root of the first term and the last term. So we're going to get the square root of our first term, x squared. So square root natin, we have x. Next, square root of the last term, square root of 49, we have 7. For the second step in factoring perfect square trinomial, we use the sign of our middle term. Okay? So we have positive, therefore positive din gagamitin natin. Last step in factoring perfect square trinomial, raise it into second power. So, i-square lang natin siya. And this will be our binomial now, or square of our binomial. Gets? Next example tayo, example number 2. In example number 2, we have y squared less 18y plus 81. So when we factor perfect square trinomial, the technique is get the principal square root of the first term and the last term. So what is the square root of y squared? We have y. Next, square root of our last term, 81. Square root of 81, we have 9. Yan. Then second step, use the sign of the middle terms in our trinomial. Ano ba yung sign niya dito? We have negative. So negative din ang gagamitin natin dito sa ating factor. Next, last step, i-erase lamang natin siya ng 2. So yun na po ang factors ng ating perfect square trinomial. Again, when we factor square trinomials, the result is square of a binomial. When we square a binomial, the result is perfect square trinomial. Okay? In solving quadratic equation, it is easily solved when the quadratic equation is factorable. Now, the question is, paano kapag hindi factorable yung ating equation? Like, for example, we have example number 1. Example number 1. We have x squared plus 10x plus 1 is equal to 0. Factorable ba siya? No. Bakit? Yung constant natin, walang factor na sum is equal to 10. That's why, meron tayong completing the square. So, dito na ipapasok yung ating lesson. Okay? So, paano nga ba ito? First step, i-isolate natin yung ating constant. So, we have x squared plus 10x. Using APE, we have equal to negative 1. So, nag-add tayo both sides ng negative 1. And next step, gawin natin is make this equation, or the left side of the equation is perfect square trinomial. So, yung left side natin, gagawin naman natin siya ang perfect square trinomial. How? Ayan. So, during your grade 8, I think napag-aralan nyo rin to. X squared plus 10x plus blank. Sorry, blank. Plus blank, kung ano man yung i-add natin para maging perfect square trinomial, is equal to negative 1 plus blank. Ayan. Bakit dalawang blank? Siyempre, kung ano yung i-add natin sa kabila, or sa left side natin, ganun din ang i-add natin sa right side natin. Dapat balance. Okay? So, paano nga ba yung pag-form ng perfect square trinomial? Okay, consider natin tong given example na to. X squared plus 4x plus blank. Ano yung nasa blank natin? Okay? So, ganda lang. Yung b natin, na 4, i-divide natin ng 2, then square lang natin siya. So, 4 divided by 2, we have 2. Then, square natin, 2 square, we have 4. So, ayun na. Ito na ay isang perfect square trinomial. When we factor this one, we have x plus 2, then square. Square root of the first term, square root of the last term, that's it. That is the factor of our perfect square trinomial. Another example, example number 4. And y square less 6y plus blank. Ano nga ba yung dapat na nasa blank natin para maging perfect square trinomial? Again, divide lang natin siya ng 2, then square natin. So, 6 divided by 2, we have 3. 3 square, magiging 9. So, ayan, perfect square trinomial na siya. Then, when we factor out this one, so we have square root of y. Y square, we have y. Then, yung sign niya negative, negative din ang gagamitin natin dito. Then, square root of 9, we have 3. Then, square. So, yun ang magiging factor natin. Sundan na po. Last example. Example number 5. If we have a square plus 8a plus blank. Ayan. And then ulit, para gawing perfect square trinomial, divide by 2, then square. Or 1/2 of our b. Then, square of 1/2 of our b. So, we have 8 divided by 2, we have 4. 4 square, we have 16. So, ayan. Perfect square trinomial na siya. Factor out natin, we have a plus square root of 16, we have 4. Then, square. So, yun na yung magiging factor natin. Okay? Next tayo. Dito tayo sa ating given problem. We have x squared plus 10x plus blank. 10 divided by 2, we have 5. 5 squared is equal to 25. So, dito, kung ano man yung knob natin dito sa left side ng ating equation, i-add din natin sa right side ng ating equation. So, 25. And then next, itong perfect square trinomial, gawin natin siyang square of a binomial. And then simplify na rin natin to. So we have square root of x square, we have x. Positive ang gamit, plus ang gamitin natin. Then square root of 25, we have 5. Then square. Ayan. Is equal to negative 1 plus 25, we have 24. Then next natin, naka-square siya, so dito napapasok yung extracting the square root or square root property. Yung una nyong lesson. Ayan. So square root of 1, cancelled out, magiging x plus 5. Ayan. Sorry, cancelled na lang. X plus 5 is equal to square root of 24. We have positive and negative square root of 24. Okay, pwede natin i-simplify itong square root of 24. Ano? So, we have 6 multiplied by 4. That's it. Then next, we have x plus 5 is equal to positive and negative. Yung 4 natin, perfect square number. So, magiging 2. And square root of 6. That's it. Next step tayo, solve for the value of x. So we have x is equal to positive 2 square root of 6. Then yan, lipat natin magiging less 5. And the other one, we have x is equal to negative 2 square root of 6 less 5. Yan. So ito na yung magiging sagot natin. X sub 1, then x sub 2. For our x sub 1, we have 2 square root of 6 less 5. X sub 2, negative 2 square root of 6 minus 5. So, yun yung magiging sagot natin sa given example natin. our given problem natin. Okay? So that is completing the square. Okay, next problem tayo. Now, let's proceed to problem number 2. We have y squared plus 6y plus 8 is equal to 0. In solving quadratic equation by completing the square, the first step is isolate the constant. Our constant here is positive 8. So we have y squared plus 6y is equal to, using APE, we have negative 8. Then next step, and make the left of the equation a perfect square trinomial. So we have y squared plus 6y plus blank is equal to negative 8 plus blank. To make it perfect square trinomial, 6 divided by 2, we have 3. Then square natin, magiging 9. So mag-a-add tayo both sides ng 9. Then next, since perfect square trinomial na to, i-factor out lang natin siya. And then, simplify na rin natin yung right side ng ating equation. So we have y plus square root of 9, we have 3, then square is equal to negative 8 plus 9. We have positive 1. Then apply natin yung square root property. Ayan. Cancel. So we have y plus 3 is equal to square root of 1, we have positive and negative 1. Next, solve for the value of y. We have y is equal to positive 1. Transpose natin yung 3, magiging negative 3. Then the other one, we have y sub 2. And y sub 1 yung isa, is equal to negative 1. Then transpose natin negative 3, magiging positive 3, magiging negative 3. Then simplify natin. 1 minus 3, we have negative 2. Sa inyong y sub 1 natin. Next, for our y sub 2, negative 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 4. So the solution in this given problem are negative 2 and negative 4. Gets? Okay, next problem tayo. Problem number 3. We have a squared plus 2a less 15 is equal to 0. So the first step is isolate the constant. So we have a squared plus 2a is equal to, from negative 15 magiging positive 15. Next, gawin natin siyang perfect square trinomial. So we have a squared plus 2a plus blank is equal to 15 plus blank. Next, paano siya gawing perfect square trinomial? 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. Square natin yung 1, magiging 1. So mag-add tayo both sides ng 1. Since perfect square trinomial na to, i-factor out lang natin. Magkakaroon tayo ng a plus square root of 1, we have 1, then square. So yun yung factor out niya. Then 15 plus 1 is equal to 16. Applying square root property, cancel. So we have a plus 1 is equal to square root of 16, we have positive and negative 4. Now, solve for the value of a. We have a is equal to positive 4. Transpose natin yung positive 1, magiging negative 1. And the other one, so yun yung ating a sub 1. For a sub 2, yan. Negative 4. Then transpose positive 1, magiging negative 1. Let's simplify. For our a sub 1, 4 minus 1, we have 3. So, ang ating a sub 1 is equal to 3. Next, for a sub 2, negative 4 minus 1. So, we have negative 5. And therefore, the solution in this given problem are positive 3 and negative 5. Okay? Now, let's proceed to problem number 4. Okay, problem number 4. We have b squared less 5b less 24 is equal to 0. Okay, the first step in solving quadratic equation by completing the square is isolate the constant. So we have b squared less 5b is equal to, using APE, from negative 24 magiging positive 24. Next step tayo, gawin natin siyang perfect square trinomial. So b squared less 5b, then plus blank is equal to 24 plus blank. 5 divided by 2, we have 5 over 2, then square natin. 5 over 2, square natin, magiging 25 over 4. Yan na yung fraction. Next, so 25 over 4 ang ilad natin dito, ganun din sa ating right side. 25 over 4. Next, i-factor out natin siya. So we have b less, yan, square root of 25 over 4. We have 5 over 2 square is equal to, yan, 24 plus 25 over 4. Magkakaroon tayo ng 96 plus 25 over 4. Or simplify natin, magiging 121 and over 4. Tama? Okay, so gawin lang natin. Magiging 121 over 4. That's it. Okay, applying square root property. Cancel. Titira is b less 5 over 2 is equal to square root of 121 over 4. So magiging positive negative 11 over 2. Now, solve for the value of b. Okay, so magkakaroon na ng b is equal to positive 11 over 2. Transpose natin, so magiging positive 5 over 2. And the other one, yun yung ating b sub 1. B sub 2 natin is equal to negative 11 over 2 plus 5 over 2. Simplify natin. 11 plus 5, we have 16. So, 16 over 2. Then, 16 over 2 is equal to 8. So, ang sagot sa ating b sub 1, or our first solution, is equal to 8. Next, for b sub 2, negative 11 plus 5, we have negative 6 over 2. Negative 6 over 2 is equal to negative 3. So, our second solution is negative 3. Therefore, the solution of this given problem are positive 8 and negative 3. Okay? So, nasundan? Okay, next problem tayo, problem number 5. In problem number 5, we have 4x squared less 5x less 6. Okay, so first step is isolate the constant. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 4x squared less 5x is equal to, from negative 6 magiging positive 6. Next, gawin muna natin siyang 1 yung numerical coefficient ng ating x squared. So, divide na lang natin siya both sides by 4. 4. So, magiging x squared less 5 over 4x is equal to 3 halves. And then, gawin natin siyang perfect square trinomial. Gawin na rin natin siyang perfect square trinomial. Plus blank is equal to 3 halves plus blank. So, 5 over 4 divided by 2 or multiply by 1/2 magiging 5 over 8. Then, square natin siya, magiging 25 over 64. Gets? Okay, next tayo. Factor out natin to. 25 over 64 ang inad natin doon. So, mag-a-add din tayo ng 25 over 64 dito sa ating right side ng equation. So, next, i-factor out natin. So, we have x. Less yan. So, less. Square root of 25, we have 5. Square root of 64, we have 8. Yan. Then, square is equal to 3/2 plus 25 over 64 is 64 divided by 2 is equal to 32. Multiply by 3, we have 96. Plus 25, we have 121 over 64. Okay? Applying square root property. Cancel, cancel. So we have x less 5 over 8 is equal to square root of 121. We have positive and negative. Square root of 121, 11 over 8. Next, solve for the value of x. X sub 1 is equal to positive 11 over 8. Transpose natin yung negative 5 over 8, magiging positive 5 over 8. And for our x sub 2, is equal to negative 11 over 8 plus 5 over 8. So, simplify natin. For our x sub 1, 11 plus 5, we have 16 over 8. Is equal now to 16 divided by 8 is equal to 2. Now, the value of our x sub 1 is, or the first solution is equal to 2. Proceed tayo sa ating x sub 2. Okay, negative 11 plus 5 is equal to negative 6 over 8. Yan. Simplify natin, magiging negative 3 over 4. So, ang solution natin is equal to negative 3 over 4. Or our second solution is negative 3 over 4. Therefore, the solution in this given problem are positive 2 and negative 3 over 4. Gets? So that is solving quadratic equation by completing the square. I suggest na gamitin nyo lang ang completing the square kapag not factorable yung ating equation. Or else, kung gusto nyo naman mag-solve ng mga fraction, pwede pa rin naman yung completing the square. So more practice para mas mabilis ang ating pagsusolve. Okay, so I hope na meron na naman kayong natutunan sa video ito na inyong pinanood. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share to your classmates, and ask your teacher if you have clarification. See you next time!